So hello, good morning. Welcome all to this session. And remember that this session is recorded and will be available on the B2Match platform in a few days. I'm Mireia Gilibert, the Innovation Lifecycle Officer in Hub South, and together with my colleague Alex Bogeri, Innovation Lifecycle Officer in Hub West, we are the leaders of the challenge area Future Mobility, and we are going to guide you through this session today. This is the fifth webinar of the week. On Monday, we had the call information session and the Meet the City session. Then yesterday, we had the webinars of the two other challenge areas, Sustainable City Logistics and Mobility and Energy. Today, we are going to guide you through the Future Mobility session. And this afternoon, we'll suggest you to attend the Commercialization and Financial Sustainability session. And also tomorrow, we will have a webinar on our applicants portal, which is Plaza. And also we will share with you some tips on writing a successful proposal. So today we'll introduce you to our challenge area and to the outcomes and impacts that we expect from this call. We'll also do a quick recap on the main features of the call. And then 7 companies will share their expertise and their interests on this call also. And at the end, we'll guide you through the B2Match platform so you can continue the matchmaking there. And also we will end with the questions and answers. So be sure that you write your questions in the questions and answers tab here in the Zoom instead of the chat. And I give the floor to Alex Bogeri.
Thank you, Mireia. Thank you, Mireia, very much. And also welcome from my side. Now, as Mireia anticipated, I would like you to give an highlight on the topics that we are presenting this morning in the Future Mobility Challenge area. I would like to take you shortly into the relevance of future mobility topics for EIT Urban Mobility and what we are aiming to achieve by funding innovation projects in this area this year. So when someone hears about future mobility, immediately might think of artificial intelligence, flying drones, 5G, and this kind of stuff. In fact, these are important topics, but it is not all about this. We all want to live in livable, accessible, inclusive, and greener urban spaces. Cities, towns, urban environments need to respond to change and to new digital technologies adoption, and new technology adoption impacts exactly on how we live, work, and move. When we refer then to future mobility, we refer to digitalization and new types of innovative technologies, which help society to think about and accept new ways of moving and living in our cities. Just think about on the way of providing and accessing mass transit services, the cooperation and integration between public and private mobility services, or for example, to the low emission zones or 15-minute cities concepts. These are all concepts that cannot be developed and implemented without new innovative digital technologies. So now this year in the Future Mobility Challenge area, we expect to have outcomes and impacts on the development and testing and implementation of new digital mobility services and business models or solution products and application implemented that must be replicable and scalable all across Europe. So we look for improved seamless mobility services for citizens with higher level of accessibility, improved management and operation of existing services and vehicles. So this is a quick snapshot of what we have done so far. In the last years, we have done a lot of innovation projects for which you can find also more information on our website project portfolio. But here you have an overview of the project that we developed in the last 4 years in the innovation calls, where many applications have been developed, such as multimodal apps, support to shared mobility services, safety of scooter and bike riding, or for example, platform for cities to better manage their traffic, or even DRT and digitalization of public transport, or improvement of air quality. We have done project in future mobility also within our action and impact group, For example, we have developed a project within the Digital Europe program, the Prep for Data Spaces. And we've also done really a lot of Raptor Cities program calls. Specifically, we have provided project in Spain, Belgium, Germany, Slovakia, Czech Republic, Romania, Turkey, Israel, and Estonia. So all over the Europe. We have also invested and helped startups, many startups in future mobility to further develop their products and go into the market. And we provided courses about demystifying shared mobility or preparing for autonomous vehicles, and even courses about the future of urban air mobility. So how to use the space above our cities. So this is a snapshot, as I said, of what we have done so far. And now let's go to what we are looking for in this year 2024 call. The challenge area of future mobility for 2024 will be then focusing on the following topics. We will focus on CCAM for more efficient routing and improved traffic flows. We are interested in projects, services, or products that make use of artificial intelligence for real-time mobility management, operation, and customer service. We are looking for projects also that enhance the data and traffic management for low emission and ultra low emission zones. As well, we are looking for projects in mobility as a service solutions that provide integration and provisioning between existing city platforms, or even integration between public and private transport modes. So how to integrate well these two different modes of transport within cities. And additionally, we are looking this year for application to ensure success of key policies initiatives. Here I'm mentioning again the low or ultra low emission zones, but also the net zero cities and 15-minute city concepts. So as you see, there is a lot to be done, and we hope to receive a lot of interesting proposal projects to tackle these topics this year. So now let's go to quickly oversee what we need as specific requirements for this year call. I will not go into details since the innovation session was done on Monday on our call, and it was recorded. So you can access it through the platform here on B2Match, or even on our website in the next day. So if you didn't attend, you can rewatch the webinar of Monday morning. I will just recap first of all the opening and closing date. The call was opened on 6th of April and will last for 2 months, so up to the 7th of June. This call, as you may know, supports the piloting and implementation of products and services that are really close to commercial availability and sales. So, as you may know, to technology readiness level products and services that are at least 7 or above. For the specific challenge area of future mobility, the available funding is around 2.5 million euros. And so for each project, we are foreseeing to fund around 350,000 euro up to 400,000 euros. The co-funding rate is a minimum of 33%, excluding the risk applicants, and the consortium should be built up with 3 independent entities from 2 different EU countries or third associated countries to Horizon Europe, of which at least 1 is an SME and 1 is identified as the lead commercial partners. You will then have at least 2 demo hosts. This year, they can be both a city, an entity with a direct link to a city, or even a private company with an existing concession for a mobility service from a city. There are 2 mandatory KPIs, one regarding marketed innovation and one regarding the demonstrations. And the starting date we are foreseeing is the 1st of January 2024, so beginning of next year, with a project duration up to 12 months. So as I said, if you need some details more, please refer to our call manual or even to the webinar that was recorded on Monday morning. So now we go to the pitches. That is the most interesting part from my side. Since we would like to push the collaboration in the urban mobility community, we are really pleased now that 7 organizations have accepted our invitation to pitch themselves. So in a short pitch, around 5 to 10 minutes, they will present their expertise, interests, and needs to look for partners and build consortia to apply for the innovation call. So I hope the audience will get inspired by our presenters today and match maybe there here on B2Match or through their contacts in the next days or weeks. So thanks again to our presenters and welcome to our virtual stage. Now we start, and I'm pleased to leave the floor to our first guest, Agnès Enrico from Caros Mobility, France. So please, Agnès, when you're done or ready, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Anaïs. I'm in charge of international development at Caros Mobility. I'm delighted to present today Caros Mobility activities. So Caros Mobility provides a carpooling solution for daily commuting, targeting rural and suburban areas. If I share with you a few figures on the next slide, we are a team of 80 passionate people located in France and Germany. We are active in 3 countries, France, Germany, and Denmark. And we have the support of the European Commission as a direct investor via the EIC fund. We have developed a unique AI-powered technology in Europe to match people and to help them carpooling to work. We have built a community of 707,000 users, and we made more than 7 million carpool rides since the launch of Caros in 2014. We have invested more than 15 million euros to develop these AI-powered carpooling networks. We have a full B2B business model. We partner indeed with corporate and transportation authority clients. We are, for instance, in collaboration with cities like Lyon, Toulouse, the city of Bonn in Germany, or Hillerød und Køge in Denmark. In the next slide, I would like to present in more detail our expertise. The innovation we propose today is that we see carpooling as a new public transportation mode. Indeed, with our technology, we are able to transform empty seats of cars into public transport. To do so, we have developed a mobile app acting as a smart mobility assistant, able to optimize trips and offer you door-to-door itineraries. The technology we developed relies on an advanced matching technology powered with artificial intelligence and geolocation to match the best possible carpooling partners. And we are also able to learn your daily mobility habits and propose matches that fit with your habits. On top of that, we are able today to integrate carpooling with local public transportation network via a triple integration. First, intermodal trips, which means that we propose trips combining carpooling with main transit lines. We can do pricing integration. So for instance, the carpooling trip for a passenger is included in the transit pass. And we are also able to do mass integration. Finally, we have developed a deployment playbook in collaboration with cities and the main employers of the region where we are active to build quickly and efficiently a large community of carpoolers. And finally, the main topic why we are here today is the challenge we would like to address with you if you're interested to partner with us. For us today, the main challenge is to provide a sustainable mobility solution for people living in suburban and rural areas. Because most of the time, the new sustainable mobility solutions are focusing mainly on city centers. And we forget the majority of people who have no choice than driving a car to go to work. So our vision of the future mobility is to transform empty car seats into a new public transportation mode that we fully integrate with the existing transportation network. The main innovations we would like to adapt and replicate in European countries, which mean new countries on top of France, Denmark, and Germany, where we are already active, are developing a carpooling app integrated with public transport and the implementation of incentives to convert people to carpool. Indeed, technology is key to make people carpool on a daily basis, but it's not enough. We need to support people to remove barriers, to convince them to carpool and share the ride to reduce the CO2 emissions of their daily trips. And to do so, we today have, via the playbook I mentioned earlier, we have developed a list of incentives that we are able to put in place to motivate and convince people to share the ride to go to work. This model that we have tested and validated in already 3 different countries should be definitely adapted locally, because we know that mobility habits differ from one country to another. So we propose you today to collaborate together to adapt this playbook and this technology to your country, to your city, to meet these big challenges, which is mobility, sustainable mobility in suburban and rural areas. So happy to tell you more about our technology, our playbook development, and also our results in France, Denmark, and Germany. So don't hesitate to reach me and send me an email. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anaïs. Really inspiring presentation. Please get in contact with her through B2Match or here in our Q&A or via her contacts if you are interested to match your interest with her. So now I'm happy to invite on the stage Katerina Shansi from Estonia, who is going to present us CleanTech. So Katerina, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Alex. And I'm pretty excited actually for being here and listening also the first presentation about today's call, because I was like, okay, we do that, check. That is great. So I'm pretty excited for being here. I'm Katerina Shansi. I'm from Greece, but living in Estonia, and I'm the COO of CleanTech Estonia. And I would like to introduce you basically on what is CleanTech Estonia, what we do, and how this can align with the actual call of urban mobility. So CleanTech Estonia is a cluster for early stage cleantech startups that provide incubation, acceleration, connection to investors, partners, and the public sector as well. And we are wearing different hats. One of the hats that we are wearing is our role as a non-profit organization. And what we do through that is that we support the cleantech development in Estonia since 2016. With putting pressure in the public sector to engage in de-risking early stage science-based startups. How we do that is firstly that we have incubated until now about 100 idea level teams, providing them with mentoring, trainings, and access to a pool of network of investors, other entrepreneurs, partners, and clients, and give them possibilities to actually bring their cleantech ideas into life. And if we would like to talk a little bit about money, since we have started, we have provided about 1 million euros of non-equity financing to 60 early stage startups. On the right, you can see some metrics about numbers and what our portfolio has actually achieved, with representing how much money, how many investments our founders have actually received, how much money have been invested into the sector and have been raised by our alumni, as well as the development of jobs that cleantech sector has offered to Estonia and the survival rate of our startups as well. If you could move in the next, great. But we are not only doing activities through our non-for-profit, but also we have developed the Estonian CleanTech Founders Club initiative, which gathers a lot of data and input about the sector and new investment measurements that can support further the development of the cleantech startups, but also bringing together the cleantech founders under a think tank in order to push for more innovation in the sector, but also how they can support each other and reach for more investments, clients, and possibilities for piloting. We have also one of the spin-offs that we have in CleanTech Estonia is the Beamline Accelerator, which is the first in the region CleanTech dedicated accelerator that we started in 2021. That we recruited scale-ups all over Europe in the CleanTech sector, and so far we are counting 24 startups in 3 batches. Also, we have started the initiative of the Little Green Fund, which is a possibility for funding for seed and pre-seed rounds that we have launched together with tech startup founders, because they would like to focus more on the sector and focus on the development of the sector. And we would like to go a little bit more out of the borders, which means that we would like to, we have founded together with the Breakthrough Energy Foundation and their support, the CleanTech for Baltics, which is actually a pan-Baltic think tank that accelerates cleantech innovation on the whole Baltic region, so in Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. And that helps not only through the investments, but also through the data gathering and getting all the people together. If you can move to the next slide, great. And here, like, it's a very I would say with not very many words slide. So we could, it's a little difficult for us to actually exclude and say that, okay, we have only focus on mobility and energy, or only future mobility, or only sustainable city logistics, because all the activities that we do, we support the clean tech sector in general. On the right, you can see some of the companies that are related more or less with the specific topics. And to just talk a little bit about what is our key expertise and how we would like to contribute and what we want to do with this challenge. Well, the first thing I would like to mention is about Estonia as a whole, as the land of unicorns, which actually provides a lot of benefits to anyone who would like to pilot and scale up their solution, because of the legal system, because of the tax system that is actually very beneficial for new entrepreneurs, and also because that our cities, like in Tallinn at least, policy is very much aligned with expansion and the development of innovation in the mobility sector. Tallinn city is the green capital for 2023, but besides that has pledged to be one 15-minute city, and it gives a lot of possibilities and a lot of open doors to actually pilot the ideas, to scale up the ideas, and also have the supportive network for bringing up very good business models, and also to have access to investors that can actually accelerate the further development of that. You can move to the next slide. Yeah, and I would say that with these words, I can wrap it up from my side. So if you have a clean tech idea and you're interested to actually test it in a city that offers you, in a country that it offers you different mobility opportunities, Estonia is a place to go, and I'm very happy to discuss further about it.
Thank you to Katerina. Really, really nice in Estonia what you're doing. Thank you very much, really inspiring. Hope you will get in touch with a lot of potential partners in the next days or weeks for a proposal in future mobility, but obviously also in our other two challenge areas for sure. So now third in our agenda of pitches is Mercedes-Benz from Germany, which is today represented by Sebastian Graf, member of the urban mobility solution within Mercedes-Benz. So I see you, Sebastian, you're ready. So looking forward to your presentation. Please go ahead when you're ready.
Perfect. Thanks, Alex. Also, thanks, Mireia, for having me. This is why I love the EIT and being part of it. Just hearing so many different kind of pitches like we hear today is really inspiring. So thanks a lot for that. Also great to see a couple of our very valued partners in the participant list. So hi, everyone who's listening at the moment. As Alex said, my name is Sebastian Graf. I am part of the Urban Mobility Solutions team at Mercedes-Benz. I kind of feel like I don't really need to mention what Mercedes-Benz is doing, so I'm going to spend all my time presenting the Urban Mobility Solutions team. With our solutions, we are basically leading the strategic initiative for sustainable urban mobility at Mercedes-Benz. So this kind of means in this context that we are trying to connect with cities all across Europe, not only Europe, but I mean, focusing on Europe, of course, in order to establish some sort of long-term comprehensive partnerships on topics where Mercedes-Benz can contribute to city mobility strategies. I'm going to use some other words. We want to make sure that Mercedes-Benz is part of the solution of urban mobility topics and not seen and being perceived as the problem by, you know, building cars. But we want to make sure that we are part of the solution, and we are very, very positive about having solutions available. Let me show you on this slide how we're doing this at Urban Mobility Solutions at Mercedes-Benz. Basically, for us, co-creation is key. So this means from a strategic perspective that we're talking about tackling challenges within sustainability, safety, and efficiency. The sustainability part basically also tackling all three pillars of the ESG criteria. So not only the environmental part, but also the social and the governance part. What makes us unique and what our key strengths are is the fact that we have the opportunity to create data-based solutions coming from our cars. So the cars are out there on the street, and we are able to assess this data, and we're able to generate solutions that benefit society. I will come back to that in a second, but because I want to mention the second part as well, we also have the possibility, and we're also aiming at that, of kind of influencing our own vehicles. What kind of innovations do we need to bring into our cars so that they fit better in an urban environment? What additional features need to go in there? What kind of digital solutions need to come in there as well? And those urban innovations together with our database solution is what makes us unique and is our core strength. Based on those two core strengths, we're mainly trying to tackle 4 issues that we identified as key urban challenges that can be seen as safety, space, infrastructure, and the environmental impacts. For that, we already offer and created a lot of digital solutions, as you can see on this slide. And let me give you an example from here. I'm not going to go into all of them, but the road safety topic, for example, is very interesting here. Why is that? Because it supports safety commissions in cities based on unique, let's say, near-miss data to proactively identify safety hotspots. So what we're doing with our vehicle data is that we proactively are able to tell cities that some streets might not be as safe as they could be before an accident happens. And this is great. This is very helpful, and of course contributes to safety in cities a lot. Another example might be the parking analytics topic, where we are basically able to identify on-street parking, which then can generate a parking cataster, a parking register, and thus leads to cities using space more efficiently, potentially even by predicting availability of parking space based on historical data. Just mentioning those 2 data topics. On the next page, on the next slide, we see some examples of past projects, or on the right, we'll come to that in a second, of how we actually make this data we have available. On the left, I really want to mention that because this used to be an EIT project as well back in 2021, something called city to car notifications that we worked on together with Helsinki and Amsterdam, for example. So what we're trying to do here is we want to inform our drivers in the car, and this is part of the making cars better adapted to an urban environment here. We want to make sure that the car driver gets notifications about, let's say, local events or about dangerous areas as school zones, for example. A city is able to tell us, please indicate this school zone in your head unit, and then our drivers will get notifications sent to their head units, and they will be able to slow down because now they are aware of a dangerous situation coming up. So key message here is we want to make sure to use the data from the car, but we also want to make sure that we're able to bring data back into our cars, not only our own, but also coming from cities. Our own data, we want to make sure to make it available to cities as good as we can by, for example, providing our Mercedes-Benz data dashboard, and also by providing access via a data API, as you can see on the right. Basically, to sum it up, when it comes to future mobility, we as Mercedes-Benz Urban Mobility Solutions can definitely be part of the solution here. And we would like to connect with all of you in order to better understand current challenges, especially in cities, and together work on finding new solutions and additional solutions on that. The field of CCAM is one of our strengths here because we are the owners of the data. We have it available. We want to use it for making roads safer, more efficient, etc. So please feel free to reach out to me, and let's see if we can come up with new ideas, and if there's any chance for a joint effort join the open call for innovation. Looking forward to hearing from you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, you too, Sebastian. Really nice to hear that also Mercedes-Benz is so into these topics. So thank you very much again, and I remind our attendees that they can pose questions on our Q&A for you and all the other presenters. So now we move from Germany again back to France, where Actia is located. Today we have David Elizalde here, head of new programs and international development. So David, if you're ready, you can start.
Yes, good morning to everybody. Thank you once again to you, EIT, Alex, Jan, and Mireia, to give us the possibility to communicate on what we are doing, and thank you to all of you about your presence. I was pretty impressed by the first presentation which were already made, so very interesting presentation before. So I am the head of innovation of Actia. Actia is a medium-sized company located in the south of France, in Toulouse. So the so-called aeronautics capital, but I will speak to you about Earth mobility today. So we are a medium-sized company, something like €500 million revenues, and nearly 4,000 people around the world. And we are present in all the continents. So our job is to design and produce electronic and digital solutions that will be implemented by OEMs inside their vehicles. So we are like a tier one company, not only addressing OEMs, also addressing cities, of course, but that's our main market. Next, please. So main level. So the goal of this slide is to make a focus really quickly, if you can, thank you very much, make a focus on those skills or know-hows we can share in the field of urban mobility. So urban mobility, we are mainly focusing on micro mobility and buses and trains, trams inside the city, where the main levels of skills and the domain of skills since nearly 40 years now, 40 years, are everything dealing with onboard electronics, like connectivity of vehicles. So we design and provide connectivity objects to make that those vehicles can communicate with backend and clouds. We are also accurate in everything with fleet management and health monitoring of those vehicles. And another example could be, but not to be very exhaustive and boring, will be everything dealing with passengers' infotainment system, and drivers' cockpit are our main level or main domain of know-hows. Next, please. So just some examples of some innovation project we would like to boost within the EIT community. So I had to make choices. We have many topics on the table, but as examples of topics which could fit with urban mobility concerns, as explained at the beginning by Alex. So beginning from the let's say the left side to the right side. So for example, in the field of micro mobility, as we are a designer and manufacturer of electronic devices for e-cycles, so we would like to test today our, let's say, whole package of electronic devices. That means connected motor, connectivity inside, displays inside, and so on, in order to perform fleet management of e-cycles fleets for some cities, and with special features like being able to manage remotely anti-theft, or also diagnostics or health monitoring of the battery of those vehicles which are everywhere in the city, for example. That's one of the examples we would like to target. Another example that we are also active in the world of inclusivity, and regarding the wheelchair object, let's say, we are finalizing a development which consists in taking a standard wheelchair, just taking away the existing wheels, replacing those wheels by electric wheels, so that in fact the driver can very easily go much more faster and even on hills, for example, very easily to drive a wheelchair quicker and more easily. So once again, there we will be pleased to evaluate this innovation with some cities, with also the partnering with an OEM of wheelchair. Other examples, the two last regarding buses transportation into cities. So we have developed a technology with the French Railways institution in France related to connected CCTV systems on trains, and we would like to adapt it on to the bus area. It consists in fact in connected CCTV put on trains, which has a sense regarding the autonomous shuttle, because the autonomous shuttle, the passengers might not feel very safe. So with the CCTV which is connected, they know that there is somebody on the other side of the line which is always monitoring the inside of the vehicle. So it can be also an interesting point to be checked. And last but not least, the experimentation of a predictive maintenance algorithm we developed for the city bus fleets based on ICE motors, the engines, I mean the internal combustion engines, which allows preventing failures of the engines, failures by overheating, which can be a big failure which can appear on some fleets of buses in the world. So some example, that's it. So thank you very much for your listening, and you are more than welcome to discuss further with us.
Thank you, David, too, for your nice presentation, really inspiring. So now we move again from France, and Iris Ruiz is teleporting us in Delft, the Netherlands, to present us the Future Mobility Network organization. So please, Iris, when you're ready, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Alex. And I also want to start with thanking you all, EIT, and the people who are attending here to invite me, but also to listen to all those nice pitches that have been there already before the Future Mobility Network. So the Future Mobility Network, I always start with the picture that you just saw. It's we call it our painting, where we visualize how the future might look like, and also to inspire people to think sometimes in a more different way. So who are we? So we are the Future Mobility Network. You can go to the next one. We are focusing on several mobility issues that we are solving with the goal to develop sustainable solutions for the future. So, and therefore we advise our clients. We also oversee mobility programs. We connect mobility with real estate, and we also realize future mobility solutions. So maybe to clear that up a bit. So on the one hand, we are an advising agency, so we do consulting, but on the other end, when we see there is an interesting innovation, we trust, and we see there is an interesting business case, we also take the step to implementation, and we also invest in new solutions. So maybe you can go to the next one. So we do this from different areas. So in the slide, you see the 8 themes that we're focusing on. And actually the mission of our overall consulting and realization is to, for instance, fewer traffic jams, also reducing CO2 emissions, and in the end, making mobility available to everyone. So in this case, the overall mission is to make cities more livable. So the themes that we're focusing on is starting with digital infrastructure, which relates to the connection of smart vehicles and infrastructure. So we experiment with the communication between vehicles and infrastructure by really implementing a smart traffic situation and experiment with research questions, for instance. The second topic is connected to less hindrance, as in the Netherlands, but I can imagine also in other cities, we see that there's lots of challenges regarding some public works, like a bridge, that needs to be reconstructed in a way, and this causes lots of hindrance on roads. And we do not want that, but we also want to see it as a challenge, as an opportunity to see how people can travel maybe on a different way. So this is more focused on the program management of certain large areas or roads in the Netherlands. We have this topic delivery robots, which is more in the logistics part within the company, where we implement delivery robots on semi-public areas. So this is a very small picture where you see a Rosie, which is the delivery robot that we implemented in Rotterdam at the campus, at the university campus. And we did this together with, for instance, the city, but also with the insurance company, but also with the research institutes to see how people, for instance, react on a robot, but also other research questions that we try to answer during these projects, with in the end goal to scale it up. Then the topic of shared mobility, and this is also more for the client, which is the city. So we help cities to get more insight in how they can optimize the shared mobility system, but also how to overcome certain challenges like nuisance, but also shared mobility solutions where you don't want it. So on pavement, and how you can advise them in reorganizing the shared mobility system. The topic that I'm very passionate about, which is also my background, is the area and project development projects, as we do really see that we need to connect mobility with urban areas. So the future projects which are lying on the design tables right now, it should be more integrated with mobility. So that's a topic that I'm very enthusiastic about personally. Then we have the behavioral changes, which is more based on behavior. So we can still implement lots of new forms of mobility solutions, but in the end, we also need the people to change behavior. So this is a topic that we also focus on. Then the last two, so automated mobility, this is actually where it all started. So these are the implementation projects of self-driving shuttles. In the end, we implemented around 6 in the Netherlands. And the last one is the mobility hubs. And this is more or less related to shared mobility, but it's also about implementing the hubs itself. So we also do the whole project management from an idea to realization, where a city wants something like a hub, or can be also in an area development, and then we go to the implementation of it. So next one, how do we do it? So we are taking a pragmatic approach, where we actually start in the now. So we currently handle with different challenges in the present. For instance, the shared scooters that popped up in the Netherlands, and cities were with the hands in their hair, don't know what to do. And then we figure it out and help these cities in the present. But we also look into the future. We see new innovations that we think can be of value for in future projects, for instance, in future development projects. And then we think out several concepts, and then in the end, we also develop the concept and implement the concept. And then we also go to the new. So we also do see that there are things to be changed, but also some concepts that need to be tested first. So on this small pictures, you see the Future Mobility Park, which is a testing bed for innovative new forms of mobility solutions that cannot be placed in public area, but need to be tested first. So this is an area where we can do this. And an example of this is also a autonomous ferry, which is a boat on the water that we redeveloped while testing. And in the end, we implemented it twice in 2 seasons. You can go to the next one. So this actually, I think, rounds up a bit what we do. So the themes that we're focusing on, but also how we do it. And we're really much open to work together with people, with cities, with other companies, with private companies, with manufacturers of new forms of mobility. So if you're interested in working together, then yeah, please get in touch with me.
Thank you, Iris. Thank you very much. Really inspiring also your presentation. Hope you can find some potential partners today and the next weeks in our B2Match platform or directly. So now we leave the stage to Radovan Prokeš, which is the CEO and chairman of the board of SEDA Maps from Czech Republic. So thank you, Radovan, for accepting our invitation. If you're ready, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Alex. Good morning, everybody. Let me thank you for the invitation for this workshop, and we've seen a really interesting presentation already. My name is Radovan Prokeš, and let me introduce SEDA. SEDA is a company who is active in 3 main areas. One is digital mapping. The second one is collecting various traffic-related real-time data and providing digital mobility solutions. We are creating sophisticated navigation maps, innovative digital mobile solution, and work as an aggregator and publisher of online mobility data. As you see, the world around us is dynamically changing, and we do everything we can to power the different types of projects, customers, and use cases to optimize various mobility challenges. We offer more than just the data and maps. We can help with plan, fast, green, or specific routes. For example, we are powering systems providing the best routes to firefighters or finding the path through the city for people who are blind or wheelchaired. Meanwhile, we monitor the state of routes, public transport, EV chargers, parking lots, and so on. We are currently more than 22 years old, but this is the mapping part within the company. We have the second part, which is focused on mobility solution. Let's go to the next slide, please. Here is in quick pictures what we are doing. The first thing, we are really creating the maps. We have people who are mapping the cities, mapping the countries, and provide the data which has focus on the transport and on the mobility. We are creating really super focused intermodal mobility related maps and geodatabases, combining all transport infrastructure into single databases, offering possibility to provide intermodal planning or providing systems for supporting, for example, drivers to find the nearest EV charger. Please go to the next slide. Another topic which is extending this is the technology that help us to map in the 3D ground truth. You are driving the road, you are getting the 3D stamp of what's on the road and surroundings. From those super precise data, we are able to generate Ultra HD maps for example, allowing development or deployment of autonomous vehicles, or generally support the development of SECAM technologies. We are also trying to build, let's say, mobility-oriented virtual twins. So on top of data which are static, those maps, we are trying to collect the data from all the sensors and all the vehicles which can provide data to let cities, projects, developers can analyze what is going on and help better drive the traffic, or better analyze what's happening during the evaluation of new technology on the streets. Please go to the next slide. We are also creating a mobility platform. So we are trying to aggregate data which are influencing mobility based on those precise maps, gathering current picture on the traffic, on the public transport, parking, EV charging, shared mobility, and providing on the one side the view on the situation through the APIs, so everybody can connect and use this data from single data source in a single data model, which really smooths the development of different type of projects. On the other side, we are storing this data in long time rows, allowing to train AI models, which are, for example, trying to predict future parking occupancy, demand for the public transport, and similar kind of thing. Currently, we try to enhance all these technologies with the accessibility support. So we are trying to map also within the cities obstacles or tactical orientation points for blind people, so we can then enhance solutions like mobility planners with features that allowing accessibility or accessibility feature within those technologies. Maybe one second back, the last two pictures was the micro navigation. It's navigation which is working also within the buildings. We are able to deploy the indoor locationing systems that help people to find the routes through the, for example, public transport hubs. Okay, now we can go to the next slide. As there is a lot of things we do, there is no time to talk about it in more detail. I would like just to summarize that if you have any kind of issues which is in some of those areas, or if your project would like to be extended with some of these topics, or you don't have a partner who is able to solve some of these things, will be much more. We will be happy to help here. And just to inspire you, I would like to mention a few projects we are working on just now, which is, for example, development of autonomous tram, AI predictive platform for mass and public transport, or cybersecurity aspects of autonomous vehicles, green fleet optimization platform, or navigation support, and the new generation safety system for road tunnels. It's really wide. And I would like to ask you to come to us and discuss whatever is in your head. We have more than 15 project ideas at the moment and looking for partners. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you very much for your time and hope that we'll get in touch.
Thank you, Radovan. Thank you very much. I'm sure you will receive a lot of contacts here in B2Match or directly in the next week. Now, finally, last but not least, we are happy to welcome on the virtual stage Victoria Kinsdesho, which is project lead at Elaine in Sweden. So Victoria, if you're ready, you can start.
I'm ready and very happy to be here listening to all the inspiring talks and of course talking about my favorite topic, logistics, carbon emissions. So as mentioned, I'm representing the startup Elaine, and we have actually sprung from an incubator at Scania and are now part of something called Scania Ventures. And Scania Ventures, the whole aim is to accelerate the creation of a world of mobility that is better for people, planet, and business. And me and Elaine in specific, we specialize in carbon emissions from logistics. And the latest IPCC report, as we probably all here know, it declares that there is a rapidly closing window of opportunity to secure a livable and sustainable planet for all. And logistics plays a big part of this. And many are already leaping to action to reduce their carbon footprint. And perhaps many of you here are also doing this. But do you actually know how good or bad you are? Are you able to measure the current state? Do you know what your reductions actually lead to? Can you measure this? So lack of quality data actually leads to guesswork. And that's not how we should tackle the climate change. It's also not how we spend the money in the most efficient way to reduce our emissions. So KPIs and measuring, this is key. And we at Elaine know how to do this. Going forward, guesstimates will also not be sufficient in a wider perspective. For example, we know the new CSR directive. It's explaining how the Scope 3 emissions and including transport is becoming increasingly important, and that you need to state the calculation method, the amount of primary data, etc. And this is what we at Elaine are experts in. And we have a unique approach to this. You can go to the next slide. We collect data directly from the source. And since our background is Scania, we're experts both in vehicle and fuel data. So we can deliver the current state of your carbon footprint as well as detailed insights into CO2 of specific areas. So this primary data that we have, it ensures that the results are accurate and verifiable. And this solution to track sustainability performance in logistics, it can be seamlessly integrated with already existing systems, maybe systems in-house, or perhaps an external transport management system. This means that we're not adding yet another system that you need to navigate in, but we're boosting your day-to-day with valuable insights. And maybe you strive to be a front runner in sustainability, maybe to live up to ambitious sustainability targets or different stakeholder demands. But either way, we wonder if you know your baseline before you take drastic action. Before spending money on decarbonization, do you check where it would have the most impact? Do you track the progress? We can help with that. And at the same time, you would keep up to date with the latest industry standards and reporting regulations. So we provide the data needed to understand the current state and follow the progress in the coming years. With us, everyone can set and verify demands and communicate sustainability efforts. So now is the question, if we move to the next slide, how could you boost your sustainability journey with high quality data? If you want to, you can always contact us to know more. And here on the right, you can see some contact information. So that's all for me. Thank you.
So thank you all the pitches for these great presentations. I'm sure some of you will get some questions. I'm not sure if here within the webinar. So please attendees, if you want to ask questions of general interest, you can write your questions here in the Q&A tab. Otherwise, if you have a direct question, a direct offer to some of them, then you can always write them directly via the B2Match. And I'm going to recap on how the B2Match works in order to continue this matchmaking online. So we will have this tool open until the end of June, so you can communicate and matchmake with all the participants via this tool. So this is a very easy tool, and so you will have, for example, under the menu participants, you will see all the participants registered in the platform. You can search by person or organization, and you can find collaborators here, and you can request a meeting or directly chat with them. Then you can also, we also have a menu opportunities where you can share your expertise, your offers. If you are looking for a partner, you can also share it here, or you can request. Well, I said, if you are looking for a partner, you can either connect to the partner directly. You are, for example, missing a city, or you can post here the general offer. And you can also browse for opportunities that are of your interest. And as you can send a direct message and request a meeting to connect. And then when you go when you go under the menu meetings, here you will have all the meetings requested, and then you just have to tap join meeting, and you will be able to start this one-to-one meeting with the people you've connected. And also another recap of the matchmaking events. So this is happening, all of them are happening this week. As said, we already had sessions on Monday and yesterday, and this afternoon we will have the commercialization and financial sustainability session, which is very important for this call. So if you cannot attend, remember that the session will be recorded and will be available in a few days here in the B2Match platform. And also for so very important also, but more for the first year applicants, so the people who hasn't applied to an EIT Urban Mobility call yet. It will be very interesting, the two webinars of tomorrow. So we will guide you through our applicants portal, which is Plaza, and also we will share with you some tips to write a successful proposal. And so this is it exactly. So Alex, you can close now.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
just another thing, please remember that we are going to start with the Q&A sessions very, very soon. So if you have any question, please use the Q&A tab to write your questions.
Exactly. Thank you, Mireia. As Mireia was saying, so we are approaching the end of our webinar. We remind you to use our email address, innovationcall2024@eiturbanmobility.eu for questions regarding the call requirements, the financials, the dates, and other doubts that you might have and that have not been solved today, or that you cannot find inside our call manual or on our website. I remind you again that you can also rewatch this webinar in the next days here on the B2Match platform or even on our website.